One Piece chapter 1133. All right, it's out. It's here. If you haven't read it, go read it, but be prepared to be sad. This is not going to be a premium yap session, right? It's going to be regurgitating things that you already know for the most part, but we're going to just therapy for us all, considering this moment. And I mean, it was inevitable. It's something that we were expecting, not this soon, not gonna lie, not this soon. Oda jumped right into it. I want to talk about kind of shortly the quickened pace of Elbaf. Luffy got separated from the crew. The entire crew got separated. Bro, like 5-6 chapters in, we're already back together. The entire crew is already back together and on side missions. Okay, I'm not saying Elbaf is gonna be a short arc because I felt this way about Egghead initially. I was like, Egghead not gonna be that long. Like, look at the 65 chapters or something like that, like 68, around there. So I don't want to overstate this, but whoa, we're moving at a very quickened pace. Let's start with a cover story because, it's just, there's something that we do. The cover story, hold him. Kidnaps Tama. Speed again loses the cargo. We gotta just stop giving Speed cargo. Like, I mean, last time it was Kaido. This time is Hold'em. Speed, just go on a ranch or something, just retire and be a show horse. I don't know. Tama gets taken again. Yamato, I mean, it's Hold'em. Hold'em is literally nobody in comparison to Yamato. What are you doing, Hold'em? You should have been like Jack, just disappear. Go far away and never return. I don't know why he's back. Like, I genuinely don't get it. But either way, that's the cover story. That's it. Let's get to the chapter. Wait, one thing. I forgot to talk about is Speed. She's on the ground, like, if she's still trying, right? Like, no, don't take her. Yamato's already there. Yamato's gonna step in. She's like, but Tama! Like, bro, just pass out. All right, this is the chapter now. Spandine, the worst sack of shit. I was gonna say the worst piece of sack shit. But either way, you understand what I'm saying. This guy trying to be a sympathetic figure in front of the reporters. You and your son, just the bloodline needs to end. I know that sounds harsh, but it needs to end. You should have blew up just Spandine ship because then we wouldn't have got to spand him. Well, I don't know. He probably was already born. Yeah, because he's older than 22 years. He's already born. Either way, we should have got rid of one of them. At least. But Spandine, he's responsible for spreading misinformation and propaganda. And I gotta talk about the One Piece people. The people just living in a One Piece world, sacks of shit. And they believe anything. So gullible. Any woman that comes across them, they believe anything. Straw Hat Luffy, 10 feet tall. It's like, sounds legit. An 8-year-old girl that can sink ships and evade marines and bro. And Spandine, he's spreading the propaganda saying that she blew up the ships with the civilians and that she sank. I'm like, bro, this is insane. He is nasty. Saying that the screams of the people bothered him. I'm like, dog, y'all literally burned people on that island. What are y'all talking about? But this is what is spread by the world government. They're sacks of shit too. Like, that pissed me off because Robin endured so much just off of this dude, not just him, obviously, but just this dude spreading so much propaganda about what she was. And he created this demon-like deity that people saw Robin and they saw the devil. And it wasn't fair to an 8-year-old girl, bro. What are we doing? You big doof. I'm okay. I'm all right. Either way, seeing the escapades of this young girl trying to traverse the world whilst being labeled a criminal and a demon, again, at 8 years old, I think it is motivating. It is inspirational, but it's also freaking sad because she is 8. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys have been around an 8-year-old lately, but think about an 8-year-old trying to figure out not only being on their own, but also trying to evade the despicable people that view them as a threat, as the worst possible thing in the world. And that's what Nico Robin had to do on a daily basis, on a consistent basis. She was viewed as the scum of the earth, even whilst being a little girl. And it is heartbreaking seeing everything she had to endure and how she got through it. That's why this chapter kind of came together perfectly, because how she got through it was, of course, because she met her friend in Saul and he kind of gave her some tips on how to endure. And I don't think she would have made it without those tips and without having a friend like Saul. So this moment, this chapter, it was absolutely necessary. Again, the people of the world saying you can't sleep in peace, hoping that she would hurry up and die. This little girl like pissed you off so much. I mean, of course they don't know any better, but you guys just genuinely, a lot of them just never know any better. Some of the civilians in the One Piece world are more despicable than pirates. Somebody had to say it. Some of you, bloodline should end. I think the most heartbreaking thing is she has a book, right? It's like a map, an atlas, and she's looking for O'Hara. It no longer exists on that map in that book. So the world government, they eradicated O'Hara and then they updated it, right? They updated the terms and conditions and said, yeah, O'Hara is not a part of it. Sorry, it just doesn't exist anymore. And for Robin, she's a kid. And so she's, damn, where's my center? I have no center, I have nothing to return to. What's my purpose? At 8? Bro, what? You be 20, 25, still trying to figure it out. And you 8 years old having to figure it out? Dog, that is so heartbreaking. Like legitimately, that is the worst thing. And of course, again, Saul giving her tips, how to overcome it, telling her to laugh, telling her to smile. It's in the midst of all that negativity, that's the thing that shone through, you know? Oh man, having good friends, it's unlike anything else. I don't want to overstate this, but so far what we're seeing in Elbaf is dwarfing all the other spectacular things we've seen on other islands. And even Vegapunk is looking at it like, oh, okay, interesting. Think I'll recreate. Literally, Elbaf is setting the standard for fantastical, magnificent, majestic things, moments. It's a spectacle. Like, it's literally a spectacle. And that's what we've grown accustomed to in One Piece, but Elbaf is turning it up or taking it to another level, new heights almost. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop with the giant puns. I won't. They're going to keep going. They're going to keep getting bigger and better. I think Brooke said it best. It feels like my head isn't working, right? Because of how crazy things are. Another moment, and again, this chapter is about Robin. Just straight up and down, it's about Robin. So we're going to reference Robin and talk a lot about Robin because shit, it's about Robin. Nami going up to Robin saying, hey, you changed your hair. I figured you would. And she's like, oh, you've gotten used to Elbaf because Robin's fit. I mean, Nami's fit. So it's just cool watching Dandadan recently. And I thought about just how Momo and Ira and how they are and how they're just always bickering. And I'm just like, yo, really? We've never had that between Robin and Nami. Nami's always been so gracious to Robin and Robin has always been so gracious to Nami. We haven't had the catty bickering on the ship that you would think would happen every now and again, you know, between those two. It's like, it's never been that. It's always been genuine love and care between them. And I was just like, that's dope. Of course, Ira and Momo, they're kids. That's down to that. Anyway, I thought that moment was cool. It is a reunion as well, not only with the Straw Hats, but also Luffy gets to see his kids again. You know, the parent-child relationship between Hiruden and, you know, Gerd and Goldberg and those guys. And of course, Road in the background, strung up like a crucifix. And he's seeing his people again and they're like, yo, we're here to serve you. That's why we exist. And he's like, I don't need you guys. I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. He's like, it's okay. We want to do it because we want to do it. It's the strangest relationship where they ride for Monkey D. And because Monkey D doesn't care for it, it makes them want to ride for him even more. You'll love to see it. Again, this entire chapter, the focus is Robin meeting Saul. Luffy tries to take charge. And I did like him saying that as captain, I have to thank the people that kept my crew safe. Loved that moment. I love when Luffy takes charge in that way, because I mean, it's not often that he kind of displays hierarchy and shows that he's in charge and he's the guy that everything goes through. He's not that type of guy anyway, but he takes charge and he's a captain when he needs to be. And I like that the chapter highlighted that. I mean, he did try to be a bit too in charge. When it's time to meet Saul, he's like, all right, let's go. And they're like, slow down. This is Robin's moment, her reunion, let her happen. Robin's like, I'm nervous. Then we see Saul on the coastline and he's on the ground. He's passed out. And like, I remember when the last time we heard about Saul, Saul, he just fell. And I guess, you know, he was just preparing for Robin because he didn't know how to greet her. I think it's done really well having her go by herself on her own, the perspective changing, seeing how small she is in comparison to Saul, just walking in the sand, going over to him. Him almost trying to scare her, but it was a surprise. And she's just looking at him with the eyes of, I'm so happy I got to see you again, right? Saul now with a peg leg and a bunch of scars. People are saying this confirms he's a man scarred by flames. Personally, I don't think this confirms anything. After Saul was confirmed to be alive, I expected him to have scars. That's why we speculated he could be that guy in the first place. This doesn't confirm shit, in my opinion. It's just reaffirms what we already knew. He was a guy that was in ice and he got burned and he got out of the ice. He was wrapped in bandages. That's what they said about him. Yeah, he's gonna have scars. Am I missing something? Is something else? Maybe something else. I like that he compared her to her mom, saying that you have her warm eyes, Olvia. I like that he kind of spoke life and truth into her by saying everything, all these things that Vegapunk spoke about should not exist, but because of O'Hara and the voices of O'Hara, that's the reason why these things exist today. And you're the will of that. You're the last O'Haran. And so Saul is trying his best to relate and talk to Robin because she's an adult. He doesn't know how to speak to her. For Robin, she somewhat reverted back to like her childlike state damn near, where she's like, yo, the scars, do they hurt? Saul also gives us a breakdown as to how he survived. I mean, it's everything we expected. He was frozen, fire thawed him out, fell into the sea, it worked, and voila, here we are. The saddest moment by far is Robin telling Saul, hey, I want you to praise me for how I've lived and being alive. And you got to think about Robin. She's not a vulnerable person. She doesn't open up to many people, and she's been living with this burden, this weight this entire time. And so she finally meets the man, her benefactor, that basically got her through all these moments with the advice and just having that friendship and that memory of Saul. And now she's like, yo, I just want you to commend me for how I lived these past 22 years. And I like how much he just embraces it. And he's like, man, like, you've been great to live the way you have, right? Being chased all over the world, how people pegged you as this demon child. You've lived well. You've lived really, really, really well. And, she thinks back to those moments where she wanted to give up. She's like, why do I have to live, Mother, Professor, Saul? I want to die. She's literally saying to herself, I want to die. That's why that moment is significant. It gets more and more significant every time we see Robin, but her saying she wants to live, it matters so much, right? And seeing her break down saying, I really wanted to see you again, Saul. I mean, Saul crying, she's crying, the Straw Hats are crying. Of course, we got the three macho men, Luffy, Zoro, Jinbei. And it's not the exaggerated cries, it's genuine tears from all of them because they understand what they don't understand. They know for the most part what Robin has been through, and man, to see her finally be emotional, like she's not that emotional. Like she doesn't do that. She doesn't show emotion very often. And every time she does, it's a significant moment. I don't have anything else to say. This is what this chapter was about. Shout out to Nico Robin, man. Luffy's smile enhances it for me because he's just so proud, and seeing people happy, that makes him happy. What didn't make me happy was seeing that we go on break again, but I understand it. Don't come for me. Either way, very, very moving chapter. Nico Robin reunited with Saul. It happened. Like the video, subscribe, leave your thoughts below. How did you feel about it if you're not currently crying? And I'll catch you guys in the next one.